I'm Peter Maddison, architect, the proud architect, in fact, of this house, Coronet Grove, which I designed some 13 or 14 years ago now. And what's great about being in this house is that all the design principles come back to me. The principles behind this home were around its location, both the physical location sitting high on the hill here and also the principle of building in Beaumaris. So there's a long and very hallmarked design style here in Beaumaris called the mid-century architecture, which came out from about 1950 to 1970, which I've always admired. And this house has some of those principles in its DNA. The form of the building is very much expressive, so when you stand outside in the street and look back, you can work out what rooms are where. So the building's broken into components. There's a masonry part of the building on one side, which has got a very expressive concrete block exterior, which is stacked, or the blocks are stacked. And then this elevated, almost like a periscope building form, which is elevated off the ground level, is a viewing portal that has a 270-degree view over Port Phillip Bay, from this living room we're sitting in right down to the kitchen. So this outlook is absolutely unique, and it's something we wanted to capture in the design and the form of the building. So it's apparent that when you stand in the street, this building has resonance with its location and the precinct. So the building is a quality construct done by a builder, Dean Atkinson of Atkinson and Pontifex, who was the original owner. And he was pedantic around the quality of the way the building went together. It's not that often, as an architect, you get invited to design a house in a location like this and with a very open brief. So for me, as an architect, having practiced for over 35 years, this opportunity doesn't come along very often. So I really grasped this opportunity and pushed the couple that commissioned us to do the house with an architecture that is quite challenging. So there's a lot of structural gymnastics and spatial exploration that's gone into this style of building, which I really revel in. There's also a vivaciousness, I think, in the architecture. There's an excitement that I've tried to elicit when you move through the building, and there's surprises that really reveal themselves as you move through the spaces. And so there's the journey, if you like, that this building offers that's not all on show when you approach it, that reveals itself, and one hopes people enjoy that experience every time they walk through the building. Also, I think that we've really thought about the orientation of this building. What's driven this viewing portal on the upper level is the connection to the water and the 270-degree view we get. But it really faces the wrong way for environmental reasons. North is the real orientation. You should have a building like this. So to get daylight and sunlight and that warmth into the building, we've lifted the roof on the space behind us, this living room space, and peeled that away from the back sleeping quarters so that there's a highlight window. It really lets the light and the sun penetrate and warm the space in those colder winter months. And so I think there's been an awareness about orientation, both capturing the possibilities of this building with the outlook, but also there's a sustainability aspect which has gone into the thinking behind it. And there's a lot of fun features in this house, which is also the hallmark of mid-century architecture. You know, they had a lot of fun back in the 60s and 70s, and we hope that this house celebrates that spirit with a home theatre, an outside lap pool which has a glass end, so when you do your tumble turns at the end, you can wave to the neighbours in the street. It has a wonderful entertaining zone downstairs where the barbecue area opens up onto an outdoor patio, and that outdoor living experience is replicated on this level also, with a walkway running right along the front edge of this viewing living room down to another barbecue area off the kitchen. So there's very much a celebration about being in the open, living outdoors in this house with downstairs amenity and upstairs amenity. The interior finishes are all very natural also. So we have a lot of spotted gum on the floors and the joinery, and the palette of all the walls are left very neutral for the artwork and furniture to shine through, but you'll notice as you travel through the building, the masonry part of the building is left expressed, so the concrete blocks that are outside come wrapping inside and follow up the spine that leads right through the centre of the house. So there's a lot of thought that's gone into this building, both in terms of its planning, the spatial experience as you walk through the building, the materials. The finishes are all very natural. So the masonry outside is left raw. The elevated living zone we're sitting in at the moment is wrapped in zinc. Now we've used zinc because it's very dramatic, but it's also lightweight, so it's easier to elevate and separate as a cantilever structure. The zinc cladding itself is really the most durable material you can use in a seaside location. So we've been very mindful of the materials that this building's made of, so that the building has longevity, it has a long life, given the quite a saline environment this building lives in. So this is a building that I'm very proud of and sits proudly in my portfolio at the office. That's because I guess I was given a fairly free hand. That doesn't happen often as an architect. And it has received quite a lot of accolade, which is reassuring that we're doing the right thing. It was the House of the Year about 10 years ago, both in Victoria and nationally with the HIA annual awards. So I am not the only one that thinks it's a pretty good building. And when I walked through the building today, I still felt very proud, because I think the building works. It works as a piece of architecture that's exciting and stimulating, but I also think the amenity that we've created here works for a family. It can be zoned, rooms can be shut off or opened up for a large group. It can be used for large entertaining on the ground level or the upper level, or it can be used in an intimate fashion in this lounge room, for instance, we're sitting in, which is, the scale of it's quite different from the whole house. So I think there's a flexibility with this house, with the way you use it. And I'm pretty happy with the way it's performed over time. And I think the mid-century architects felt it, and I feel it today. There's something about having connection to water, the natural environment, which makes one feel alive and wants to celebrate life. And I think a style of architecture like this does that.